Hey everyone! In this video we're going to be looking at how to make simple shapes with P5JS. First we're going to start by learning how to draw a rectangle. So let's take a look at the syntax for the same. Syntax in programming basically refers to the spellings and the way we write the code such that the computer can understand it. So for the rectangle we first have to say rect, R-E-C-T, and then within the brackets we have to give 4 values. First is the x and the y value of the top left point. Then we give the width of the rectangle and then the height. So let's draw a rectangle on the top left corner of the canvas. So we're going to be typing this inside the draw loop after we draw the background. So I've written rect and the first set of values are going to be 0 and 0 since that's the x and y value for the top left corner. And then let's give it a width of 300 and a height of 200. And don't forget to add the semicolon once you're done. So let's run this code. So you can see here a rectangle of width 300 and height 200. Perfect. Next, let's look at how to draw a circle or ellipse. For that, the syntax is ellipse and within the brackets we have to give 4 values again. The first 2 are the x and the y value of the center of the ellipse. This is then followed by the width and the height. So let's draw this. So let's draw an ellipse at the center of the canvas. So that means the x and the y value will be 200 and 200. Since our canvas is of the size 400, 400. And then let's give it a width of 50 and a height of 200. And when we press play, we have an ellipse. Now you'll notice that the ellipse is actually blocking the rectangle a bit over here. This is because the code that we've written runs in order. Meaning that first it draws the background, then it draws the rectangle and then the ellipse. So since the ellipse coordinates are such that it would come over the rectangle, it's that you can see the overlap. Okay, now that we know how to draw basic shapes, let's try and make a little emoji with this. Now to do this, we will first draw the image on a grid sheet and then write it in code. So this will help us plan out our drawing better and help us write the coordinates quickly. So let's draw this emoji over here. So we first need a circle over here in the center at 200, 200 with a width and height of 300. And then we can do the eyes over here at different x values but the same y value. So that will be at 150, 150 for the left eye and 250, 150 for the right eye. As the y value will be the same and x will change. And then finally we can draw the mouth at 200, 250. Now this is just an example that we're working with. Feel free to use your own shapes and like anything that you see around you. We've also attached a couple of images to this video so that you can use them as references as well. So if you're following along with us in this video, we suggest that you pause it here, draw your own emoji on a grid sheet or draw a design on a grid sheet and try coding it yourself. And then you can continue playing around with the video as a reference. So if you're continuing along, let's get started. So we're going to start by drawing the biggest circle because if you remember, P5 draws in layers. So the shape that I draw second will be drawn over the shape that I draw first. So of course we want to draw the eyes and the mouth later. So let's draw the center circle at ellipse 200, 200 and a width and a height of 300. Let's press play. So one good sort of practice to get into is to always make sure that you're testing after each line of code. And another good practice is to use comments. So in code, comments essentially refers to lines that can be read by us but not by the computer. How we do that is we put 2 double slashes and then we write whatever note we want. So here I'm just going to say face so that we know what this ellipse does. Next we're going to do the eyes. So we saw that the value of the eyes is at, one of them is at 150, 150. I'm just giving a random width and height. Okay. And now let's draw the right eye as well. So that will be at 250, 150. Only the x value changes. And finally, let's draw the mouth. So the mouth is at 200, 250 and we'll make it a little bit bigger than the eyes, so we can make it 40 by 40. So there we have it. We made a very simple black and white emoji. In this case, we use just ellipses, but these are the designs that we have attached in the description below, and they use rectangles and lines and everything. So go ahead and practice coding simple shapes and use the grid paper to first draw out the shape that you want. You don't need to necessarily keep doing it. It's just a good way to get used to the grid system, and it also actually makes it faster when you're drawing like really complex shapes. You don't have to remember it. You can just look at the grid sheet as a reference. So have fun and make your own images and designs, and we're very excited to see what you make.